bit different here. And this is, again, one that I hope you'll actually find this intuitive. This is the Snapdragon double, which, as I like to say, if anything, is worth playing just because it has the best name of any double. And what the Snapdragon double is, basically, it's really just a takeout for the fourth suit. It's a takeout double that shows up when 3 of the suits have already been bid. Now you might be saying this: why do I need a takeout bid for the fourth suit? If 3 of the suits have already been spoken for by the other people at the table and I'm here in fourth seat and I have the fourth suit, why don't I just bid the fourth suit?
Because you may be at too high a level, like you.
You may not want to. You may want to show the suit, but you may not want to bid it. So that's actually exactly what the Snapdragon double is for. And then there's another little kicker to it, which we'll talk about. And I think when you see some examples, this will make a lot of sense. So, so what are the conditions for the Snapdragon? So, 3 suits have already been bid. And this can take place in different ways. Sometimes it's all at the 1 level. Sometimes you're at the 2 level. So again, you know, this kind of fits into the category of, again, you feel like you should do something, but maybe you're not sure what that something is. And as a reminder, do you know what we're talking about when we, you know, when this term free bid? When we refer to something as a free bid, like even like a very simple auction like this. Like your partner opened a heart and there was a 2 club overcall, and as a responder you bid 2 spades. That is a free bid. You are freely bidding. You're freely introducing a new suit at the 2 level, which your partner is not known to have support for, right? So on that auction, you promise at least 10 points, right? Usually at least 5 spades and at least 10 points. And if your hand doesn't fit that category, you might have to make a negative double instead, right? So this is just giving you that reminder that the idea that a free bid tends to be a better hand, a longer / better suit or a better hand. So the same thing kind of applies here. If you feel like your hand is not good enough to make a free bid, but you feel like you should be participating in this auction, this is where your Snapdragon might come in
Kind of like a negative bid, except there's only 1 suit left.
Yes. All right. And this is normally done by, this one is, I think we could probably construct an auction where someone else at the table would do this, but it's normally advancer is the one who does this. In other words, your partner is in the overcall position. So,
is there a point range you should be in to do the Snapdragon?
You have enough to bid, so you have enough to squeak out a response, which at the 1 level might be as few as 6 or 7 points. I would say typically it's going to fall into that kind of 6 to 10 or 6 to 11 category. Because if you actually have a better hand than that, then you're probably good enough to take a free bid, right? So what we usually have here that is usually where your Snapdragon double will appear. So your left-hand opponent opens, partner makes an overcall, right-hand opponent responds in some way, and now you double. So, in that position, we refer to that as the advancer position. But now, here's the one piece that makes it just a little different. I've actually done entire classes before. I have a class called the Tolerance Principle. Yes, I can discuss this for 2 hours. We won't today. You're welcome. Does anyone know what exactly we mean by tolerance?
You're okay to play there.
So yeah, so we actually the idea here is that we want to make a distinction between tolerance and support. Sometimes you can tolerate partner's suit, but you wouldn't freely raise it. If you would freely raise it, we'd call that support. If you wouldn't freely raise it, but you can live with it, we call that tolerance. What normally qualifies as tolerance? Your partnership can adjust this if you want, but most typically we want it to be this. Honor doubleton. Ace X, King X, Queen X, Jack X, 10X. 10's an honor, right? Too small, I don't know. Too small we usually don't think of as tolerance. But you and your partnership can have an agreement about how good that tolerance must be.
Perhaps if you have closer to 10 points, you could go with the...
I would look at that. I would be, if I had too small in partner's overcall suit and a 7 count, and too small in partner's suit and a 10 count, I might be more inclined to stretch to get into the auction. Even if that means that I'm tabling a hand that doesn't have the greatest holding. So, let's say we get an auction that looks like this. So partner's overcall suit is hearts. You have 2 little spades. You have Queen doubleton of hearts. Overall, you've got 8 high card points. All right, a club, a heart, a spade to you with this hand. Well, do you feel like you should be competing here? Everybody else has something to say. Why shouldn't you, right? So this is sort of a situation of, do you feel like I belong in this auction? I feel like I should get involved in this auction, but I'm not quite sure where we belong. Because that's how I feel about this hand. Would you try 2 diamonds? That's your 5 card suit, and it's an unbid suit. You could. The diamonds aren't great. Queen 10 fifth. Maybe partner has a diamond fit for you. I mean, partner could very easily have 3 diamonds. Is that a suit that you want to introduce freely at the 2 level when you have an 8-point hand? To me, that's questionable action. If my ace of clubs were my ace of diamonds, I would feel better about a free 2 diamond bid. Ace Queen 10 fifth would be a better suit. It would be a good lead director if partner ended up on lead, although we don't know that that's going to happen. On the other hand, if partner doesn't like diamonds, would you be okay playing hearts at the 2 level? That's the key here, right? If partner has only a 5-card heart suit, in fact, maybe even if partner has a 6-card heart suit, probably not that interested in being above the 2 level, are you? So the nice thing here is that you can make a bid that shows both. And this is where your Snapdragon double comes in. This is a perfect hand to, and yes, it's a verb, you will snap. So what this says to partner is, all right, diamonds is the only unbid suit, right? So this says, partner, I've actually got diamonds, and not just 4. You have 5 of them. I don't think I would do it here with only a 4-card diamond suit. Partner, I have a 5-card diamond suit, but I'm not exactly proud enough of it that I'm going to bid it freely. However, if you have a fit with me, if you have 3 or more diamonds, please feel free to bid 2 diamonds because that's our best fit. Heck, with the right hand, if the opponents are bidding as well, partner might even compete to 3 diamonds. On the other hand, who's to say partner doesn't have a singleton diamond here, right? Or too small. Well, if partner has a singleton or too small, what would be our best part score? Probably hearts, right? So what you're saying to partner with this double is, hey, I've got a diamond suit. I'm not going to bid it freely. If you like diamonds, great. If not, go ahead and feel free to rebid 2 hearts. Even if you go back to hearts, overcaller, you're not promising 6, even though you are rebidding because I kind of made you do something with my double. And I can stand that. I can live with 2 hearts. I've got a doubleton. And then probably if the opponents compete above 2 hearts, most likely we're done unless partner has a better hand. But it gives you a chance to compete. Now, if we do so much as change this hand a little bit and give you a 3rd heart, at this stage, we're not going to fool with the double, right? Because you have an 8-card heart. So why bother with the diamonds? Don't even worry about it. The auction's competitive. You may not get a chance to bid again. Use your 1 bid to raise partner. So the idea here is that you actually should not have true support for your partner's suit. I would say you should not have true support when your partner's overcall is a major, right? Now this can change. Partner might overcall a diamond and you want to show a major. That's a different story. You may not want to commit to diamonds when partner's overcalled a diamond when you might have a fit in a major, right? We're going to take a break here in a minute, but when we come back, I'll have an example of that, where you would be snapping to show a major. In fact, we're at 9:45. Why don't we take our break before we go to break? Does anybody have any questions about what we've looked at on the Snapdragon so far?
So generally, the snapper is not going to bid again.
Probably not. Your hand is probably a 1 bid kind of hand. And if your hand was good enough to be planning on potentially taking multiple calls, my guess is you would have introduced your suit the first time. Right. So.
Is this alertable?
Do you have a card? I'm not sure. It used to be on. I don't even know if Snapdragon.
It's not on.
I don't think it's alertable.
I looked it up and.
So once upon an older version of the convention card, it used to be there, but it's not anymore.
Online it says
put it this
yes.
way. There would certainly not be any harm in alerting it, and maybe it's a good idea because it does suggest this tolerance in partner suit. That's the only part of it that would be alertable. Otherwise, it's pretty. What would we expect double to be when 3 suits have been bid? Probably implying the 4th suit, right? So, and the ACBL has tried to move to a spot where, where not very many doubles are alertable. And they've used this terminology, only if the double has, highly unusual or unexpected meaning. I don't think a double by the fourth seat here to show these kinds of hands is, would qualify as a highly unusual meaning. Penalty would be an unusual meaning, right? If you doubled here and that's like, nope, I have a big penalty of spades. I do not want them to, they're in big trouble in one spade. That would be an unusual meaning, right? How often do we want to double them at the one level? Certainly no harm in alerting, but my guess is if you fail to alert, you probably are not damaging your opponents. All right, I'm gonna warm up my coffee.